What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Undead Survivor. Here, let me... What the hell? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Undead Survivor. Here today, I am going to show you how I build one of my newest contraptions. Today, I will be showing off my version of the Bolo-Arrow. You must be asking yourself, what's a Bolo-Arrow? It's a little contraption in the CW show Arrow to where Oliver, when he shoots an open and turns into this cable to capture the bad guys. If you're not familiar with me on TikTok, I suggest you go subscribe to me now. And for those who do follow me on TikTok, you've noticed that I've actually failed my first attempt of making the Bolo-Arrow. I honestly thought using a 3D printer would actually help me with this contraption, but at the end, it didn't really turn out the best way. But you could still make some pretty cool plastic stuff. That's not the case. So unfortunately, I don't know how, but didn't record the first time I attempted shooting the Bolo-Arrow. It was more of just like a prototype of how it was going to be designed. I already had the idea imagined in my head of what it was going to turn out to be. And the point of using a 3D printer was the idea to make sure whoever I'm shooting the Bolo-Arrow at, it still doesn't really exactly hurt them. It's just to capture the person. My Bolo-Arrow is a little different, but it kind of captures the same idea. So in this build, it's actually going to take a little engineering, and it's also going to require a lot of practice with shooting with the bow. But you know me, I'm always up for the challenge, and I can't wait to put this thing in the field. So like I said before, I started off by using a 3D printer to make the actual base of the Bolo-Arrow. The idea was to make the arrowhead heavy, but to also not actually hurt the person. They actually have some pretty cool files of arrowheads that you can print off. Later on, I found out that it wasn't really effective. And the key trick to making this Bolo-Arrow, I wanted to use retractable key rings. The idea was to have the string come out the same time as the other one. In case I need to attach it to a different arrow, I can remove it, put it onto a different one, and when it shoots out, it stays locked in like this until it's wrapped around that person that I'm aiming at. Long story short, I did take it to work with me one day when I was finished with the prototype of the Bolo-Arrow. I have a friend there who's also very interested in archery. He really wanted to see how I attempt this project. As we were walking out, I grabbed the bow, I grabbed the Bolo-Arrows. It was time for firing. My target was basically just a random handicap sign that was near our parking lot. It did take a couple of tries, but in the end, I screwed up. Bolo-Arrow completely shattered. It busted open. I don't even understand how that even happened because I used a carbon fiber filament. You know what they say, good things don't last forever. So it was back to the drawing board. After a while, I kind of put a pause on the Bolo-Arrow because I was kind of stumped of what I was going to do to replace the actual base. So instead, I kind of worked on my next video, which was actually the incendiary arrow. Did I actually pronounce that right? Once I was finished, I went ahead and took the incendiary arrow over to my brother's house where he was getting ready to have a bonfire, and he said, "Waylon, you need to light this thing up." We tried so many attempts for that to work, but it was just too damn windy outside. We don't know what was wrong with it because I've looked up all sorts of instructions on how to light up the actual flaming arrow, but the thing wouldn't stay lit. So we called it quits, burned the fire. That was that.
What?
It did give me an idea. Turns out that the CO2 cartridge that I was using for the actual base of the incendiary arrow would work perfect for the Bolo-Arrow. So I went ahead and pulled out an empty CO2 cartridge out of one of my airsoft guns and basically repeated the process of what I did for the incendiary arrow. During my work hours, I went ahead and went to Lowe's Home and Garden and found these really cool retractable keychains, but they were for markers. Instead of just going back to a basic keychain, I went ahead and actually purchased 2 retractable marker holders. But for some reason, instead of a chain or just a little piece of paracord, it actually comes in with a mini steel cable. Not only was this going to be much stronger, but it just comes out so smooth. But then I thought to myself, maybe the first time it didn't work was because of the retractable keychain. So I came up with a proper solution to add in something to help wrap around the cord onto the Bolo-Arrow. Once I finished the base, I actually basically went back to my old Bolo-Arrow and threw on those really strong magnets that I had earlier from
hours later.
Once I finished with the mechanics, I went ahead and filled up the whole thing with hot glue gun to give it that special weight. I used the tip of the hot glue gun to help remove any residue of the hot glue. And just like that, you have a fully functional Bolo-Arrow. So we're back out here in the rain. Our target for today is just a basic stick that I just drove into the ground. Cords are now locked in. We're gonna try a Western style shot. The cord snapped. There might be a way to save this. This has got to work now. So I don't think a stainless steel cord is the best way to do it, but we're on the right track. This is not how I expected it to end, but thank you very much for watching Undead Survivor. If you have any suggestions on how I can improve this little gadget, please put it down in the comments below. I would definitely say this was about a 50-50 fail and a 50-50 of success.